Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we'll be big box store plant shopping at the Lowe's in Prosper, Texas. As always, please make sure you're pressing the like button or the thumbs up button for this video. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself, as well as following me on Instagram at Grow Folds. That's the fastest and most direct way to get in touch with me directly if you have any questions about the plants or just shopping in general. It is a late afternoon, early evening run to the Lowe's off of Prosper, Texas. It is the night before the winter storm that is about to hit the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And for those that are new to the channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. Welcome. This will just be a quick little video to just showcase what plants we have available in North Dallas. There have been a lot of rare and uncommon plants already hitting the big box stores. We're also going to visit Walmart. But before we get into that, I did want to tell you that I'm part of a plant podcast show called The Cultivation Corner. Please look for The Cultivation Corner on YouTube. Subscribe to our channel and definitely check it out. We have videos that premiere every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time with Janae Simone and Steven of I Lift Plants. But anyways, I just wanted to show you some of these plants at Lowe's. I know that I've been doing a lot of plant shopping videos at Walmart just because we have been seeing a lot of new trending tropical plants by Costa Farms, as well as philodendron, rare and uncommon philodendron by Growers Bench. And then obviously Monstera Thai Constellations have been making it to the big box store. So we're just going to take a look at some of the plants at this Lowe's location. Typically the Lowe's out in the North Dallas area, specifically in the Prosper, Frisco, Plano, McKinney area, I've always been restocked with lots of plants. I love the fact that there are many plants to choose from. And, you know, to start the new year off right, a lot of people will either just go plant shopping or hold off from buying house plants until spring comes around. The cool thing about it is a lot of these big nurseries like Costa Farms and Growers Bench, Wild Interior, and Urban Jungle have been releasing new plants out, and it's just the first week of the new year. So we're just going to take a look at some of the plants that we have available here. Mind you, some of these plants may not be new, but it's always nice to go plant shopping. And I did want to mention, for those that are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, as this video has premiered, I hope that you guys are safe, stay warm, and make sure that you're not necessarily making unnecessary trips around. You know, for those that live up in the northern states or even in Canada where you're used to like cold weather, snow, and ice, for us out in the North Dallas area, it just seems like everything shuts down. And for those that actually have to work, including myself, I hope you guys remain safe and be sure that you're driving safely. Go super slow because you never know with the snow and ice whether you're gonna just get into an accident, and we definitely don't want that. But I did film this content right before the snow falls, so we're just going to enjoy some of these gorgeous plants. This one is a Philodendron Mckinney. I love the velvety texture of the leaves. That one is a Live Trends, a ceramic hanging planter for $16.98. Over here we have some red maranthas. Love the look of this plant. It is also a Live Trends planter in a ceramic planter for $16.98. These are 4-inch planters, and I really love the look of Live Trends. You know, when we talk about planters and how that's plant styling, I would say Live Trends definitely caters to a more simplistic, more modern look in terms of just the planters. The plants are pretty much the same, but it's really interesting how certain plants get elevated depending on the planter they're in. You can see over here, this is a silver band marantha in a self-watering planter by Live Trends. If you were to ask me in terms of the planters, which big, I guess, plant provider I would prefer in terms of the planters, it would be hands down Live Trends design. Beautiful planters, very minimalistic, very simple. I love the earth tones that they have, and even the plants like this silver band marantha, it really matches this gray stone look. I prefer more matte finishes planters, and I'm actually curious for my plant foldies that are watching this video. I always ask questions, and hopefully you all will participate by either mentioning it during a live premiere chat. And if you are new and you've actually made it to a live premiere chat, welcome. Please say hello to the plant foldy community. And if you're just watching this video and discovering this channel, I I love engagement. So if you want to share anything plant related, plant insights, plant care tips, leave that in the comment section. I respond to pretty much every single comment. Obviously, I always ask everybody to exercise kindness. If you have something more critical to say, make it to where it is a critique and not something that's negative, because I really don't foster negativity on this plant community. We have a really good supportive plant community at the Grow Folds channel, and I really appreciate every single one of y'all for always tuning in to my daily plant shopping videos. But as you can see right here, super excited to show you Live Trends designs, gorgeous plants. This one is a Peperomia obtusifolia variegata. That's like a really tongue twister word there, but it is a beautiful plant, very durable. And then this is a Peperomia obtusifolia, just a green form. And if you notice, Live Trends, I just love the shape of the planter as well. I saw some terracotta planters like that at Walmart, and you know, with spring just around the corner, it's actually going to come around the corner very soon. Very excited to be able to find that different types of planters, different types of selections, and some really good news to plant foldies. I am so excited to get my houseplant tour ready to go. I know that some of you guys have tuned in previously to see me convert some of my houseplants, specifically my Aglaonema, into semi-hydroponic substrate. So as you notice, I am pivoting to a more diverse plant content. I'm showing you more of my personal houseplant collection, and hopefully when I'm able to get my houseplant tour, you're really going to see how I take care of my plants, how I style my plants, and how I just practice mindfulness in just truly enjoying the plants for what they are. I am excited for the new year in the fact that you will see more of me, perhaps a face reveal, maybe just me walking around my home showing you my plants and giving you more plant chores videos. I think a lot of you guys have really gravitated to seeing me do plant chores. I want to do how-to tutorials for your plants. So if you like that content, please leave that in the comment section. Please let me know what kind of plant content you would like for me to produce, because I will definitely consider your suggestions. And right over here, this one is an urban jungle ceramic planter in a 4-inch planter. This one is for $14.98. This is an Epipremnum aureum pearls and jade pothos. It almost looks like an enjoy pothos, but the difference between a pearls and jade pothos and enjoy pothos is if you look really closely at the leaves have some more speckling versus an enjoy pothos where it really just has sectoral variegation. This is a classic, easy to care for houseplant, one that's cost effective as well. This is a golden pothos, or an Epipremnum aureum golden pothos. And with all of the shopping videos I do for YouTube and just for the plant foldy community, you are always going to expect me to show pothos plants, because pothos plants are plants that we all need to add in our plant collection. This one is a marble queen pothos. This one has some really nice cream variegation. This one is also for $16.98 by Live Trends. I know that our plant foldies really want to know some of the plant pricing. This is a current plant pricing in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And here's what I would also tell anybody that's discovering my YouTube channel. I would hope that you would hit the subscribe button, but not only hit the subscribe button, double check to see if you have all notification bell on. So for those that have already been subscribed to the channel, go ahead and pause this video. Definitely check if you have all notification bell on versus personalized notifications. The reason being is sometimes you may not get all of the updates for my plant shopping videos or even new content. I have been uploading more shorts videos, more community posts, and I really want to keep you guys engaged with all of the different types of plant content that I'm putting on YouTube as well. But to get back to the actual plant shopping, you'll notice that during a snowstorm or potential snowstorm, like these Tradescanthia burgundy, these were actually outside in the garden center for Lowe's, but it looks like they brought these in because obviously we're going to expect snow, and you know, these plants are just not going to make it. This one is for $16.97. Again, with Tradescanthia, I do like that they are trailing plants. The only problem I have with Tradescanthia, except the Tradescanthia Nanook, is that they get get very leggy, they lose their leaves, and then they just don't look as great. So you would have to constantly prune them back to encourage more growth. I do like that they've been creative about just merchandising the plants, and you can see as far as merchandising the plants and just even the aesthetics behind it, $18.98. We've got a Pachira aquatica stump, or a money tree plant. I know with the Chinese Lunar New Year coming around, we've seen a lot of these like money tree plants, because in Asian cultures they believe that these plants bring you good luck and fortune, prosperity and health. And as far as this plant, I love it. I love the more stump form versus the braided form of the Pachira aquatica. The green form is lovely. I happen to get a variegated form from a plant swap out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but I have yet to get a green form. And when I talk about houseplant trends for 2025 for the new year, I want to try to get this trend going where we can go back to the basics for plants. Let's go ahead and get excited about green plants. Plain green plants. We're not talking about variegated plants. We're talking about this green fern, for instance, because I feel like with the green plants, they're a little bit more durable, they're more accessible, they're more cost effective, you'll save money, and they're just going to grow well for you in pretty much any indoor space. Now, whenever you get into the more variegated plants, I just feel like they're going to be a little bit more challenging to grow depending on your light source. And you can see that there are a lot of Costa Farms exotic angel plants. This one is a Hydra Helix, or what you call a Hedera Helix English Ivy. This is for $5.77. This is the Ingrid Liz Ivy. Now with English Ivies, you want to try to make sure you stay on top of the watering. They prefer to be more so outdoors, because when you grow them indoors, at least for me, they are very much spider mite prone magnets. This one right here is a gold dust croton, and we're just going to keep looking at some of these exotic angel Costa Farm plants. Again, these are for $5.48. I know that some of them might be $5.77. This one is a Philodendron cordatum, or what you call a Philodendron hederaceum. Let me know in the comments section what is the correct plant ID for this heart-shaped leaf. Philodendron, it is an easy to care for plant, and I love the fact that it is just a green plant. And so we're going to just keep walking around here and taking a look at all of these other exotic angel plants. The thing I would say about a lot of these plants is big box store plant shopping are super durable plants. Like this one right here, this is a Dracaena lemon lime. This plant can actually get fairly large. It's one of those plants that a lot of people will overlook, but as far as it being drought tolerant and low light tolerant, it is a great candidate for a beginner. Same thing with this Epipremnum aureum Marble Queen Pothos. Now the thing about this Marble Queen Pothos, notice how the variegation is a little bit greener. That is a result of the pothos plant actually getting less light, so you have to give it more bright indirect light if it's the Marble Queen Pothos, if you want to see more of the white cream variegation. Otherwise, it has the tendency to want to revert back to a green plant, which is okay as well. But if you're trying to preserve that variegation, you want to give it more light. And obviously here is another Hydra Helix. I know that a lot of you guys count how many times I say Hedera Helix during the live premiere chat. For those that are new to the channel, the backstory is when I first started saying Hedera Helix, I was mispronouncing it as Hydra Helix, and it's kind of just stuck with the original plant foldy community here. So that is the reason why I purposely mispronounced that. You can see over here that is a Hoya, and this is actually my favorite pothos plant, and this is the neon pothos, and this one is in a 6-inch hanging basket for $16.98. Super easy to take care of in terms of just bright indirect light. Actually, more light will give it better neon color variegation. If you actually give it low light conditions, it can be more on a greener tone. And then this is another Philodendron hederaceum, just a green form, or the Philodendron cordatum, which whichever one you want to call it. I'm not 100% sure what the full term is for that, but this is for $16.98. And as the new year unfolds, and as we look at all of these new trending tropical plants or just new houseplants that are making it into the market, I do urge anybody that is from a different state, a different city outside of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, let me know what plants you're seeing, because this, for instance, is an example of an urban jungle plant, Philodendron Pink Princess, and look at that caramel brown planter. It almost confused me or reminded me more so of a live transplant because of just how modern the planter is. This one is for $24.98. Beautiful 6-inch planter, and I love the mixed glaze of like a shiny brown glaze with a matte finish. What a beautiful plant. And we'll take a look at this right here. This one is a Monstera Deliciosa. I really love that coffee brown tone about it, that caramel tone. Beautiful plant. And this Monstera Deliciosa, again, is for $24.48 by Urban Jungle Plant. And you can see right over here, we have another gorgeous Anthurium superba, beautiful plant as well. And look at that planter. Like I said, again, Urban Jungle has really elevated the look of its planters. And to me, I feel like putting a plant in a certain planter, being more intentional on what planter you use, really enhances the plant. And like as far as like dark foliage plants, for instance, like if I were to buy this Syngonia Maria, look at the chocolate foliage. Really love the look of that. And you can see that it is just a gorgeous Syngonium. Now with this particular Syngonium, its coloration, the dark foliage is really influenced by the amount of bright indirect light you give it. If it gets less light, it's not going to be that chocolate brown tone. So you want to give it a lot of bright indirect light to really maximize on the coloration. This one is for $19.84. You can see this is a Homolamena Shelby, and you can see that the care tips are there. Feel free to hit the pause button if you want to see that. But this is another Urban Jungle planter. This one, yep, is actually not, yeah, $19.98. Not a bad planter as well. And the Homolamena Shelby, I would say, is a little bit more of a finicky plant. Any of the plants that are a little bit more velvety texture in the leaves, they tend to just be a little bit more challenging because they're a little bit more spider mite prone, which means the velvety texture plants, you want to increase the humidity levels around it. So if you need a humidifier, I mean, I'm not encouraging everybody to just have humidifiers all over your house, especially if you have wood floors. It could actually warp your floors, but some extra boost of humidity will actually repel certain plant pests like spider mites. This one is for $13.98, and I really do love the planter, but more so the plant. This is a Philodendron Lemon Lime. This one is a climbing philodendron, so if you notice that it wants to climb upward, in order for it to maintain that yellowish tone to its leaves, you have to provide it with a lot of bright indirect light. Otherwise, it tends to be more so on the greener side. And you can just see that there are so many Urban Jungle plants. I just love like there's a bunch of like restocks as well. You can see right here, Philodendron Moonlight for $13.98 as well. This philodendron can actually get very large. It has more of a clumping effect versus climbing. And then a bunch of Ficus lyrata right over here. These are super cute for $13.98. You can see that this is a new Urban Jungle planter. I prefer the more minimalistic planters that Urban Jungle has released recently. I don't really like all of the textures, but that's just personal preference. And then this is actually a really good price. I would say this is inexpensive for a Pachira aquatica, $13.98. And plant foldies, if you have made it into this this far into the video, thank you so much for tuning in. I do ask that you hit the thumbs up button or the like button to help me push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. If you feel inclined to even support me on a monetary tip, you can always give me a super sticker or super thanks. I do chat goals in the live premiere chat, and so you can take a look at that, or you can just press the $ sign if you want to support me with a monetary tip. Obviously, that is not, you know, a requirement, but if you do drop those monetary tips, it does help with my funding for just my plant supplies, my gas that I spend from just driving around from one big box store to another. And you can see right here, love the alocasias that are coming out for Urban Jungle. These are for $13.98. That was a dragon scale one, and this one is another type of dragon scale, I think. So let me know in the comments if you know the specific plant ID for the plants, because again, I don't ever claim that I am an expert when it comes to plant IDs. I just learn as I go to big box stores and go plant shopping. And you can see right here for $15.98, we've got a calathea of some sort. I don't know the exact plant ID, but it is in a self-watering planter by Costa Farms. What I do like about calatheas is obviously they've got beautiful foliage, but they are just very challenging plants to grow in at least my space. And so as in terms of having calatheas in my plant collection, as beautiful as they are, I am just not going to add them to my plant collection. I do have other options like easy to care for plants, like for instance this one for $15.97. We do have an Aglaonema Silver Bay, and I talk about the Aglaonema Silver Bay often on this channel, and that's the reason because it is an easy to care for plant. Any type of Aglaonema is awesome to add to your plant collection. They come in many different colors and varieties, shapes, and plant pricing. So you can see over here we've got an Aglaonema Lady Valentine, beautiful plant, and I am very tempted to purchase this even though I already have this particular Aglaonema. This one is a Trending Tropicals Costa Farm plant for $19.84 in a self-watering planter. You can see there are several of them, and I just love that very beautiful pink pastel color. With this type of Aglaonema, since it is more of the pink varieties, you do want to give it a little bit more bright indirect light to really get the best coloration for it. It can tolerate lower light conditions, but for the more reddish, pinkish, colorful Aglaonema, bright indirect light is best to get the best coloration for it. It is really influenced by the amount of light it gets, and as I pan away here, there's still quite a bit of plants to choose from. You can see right here, Calathea Dottie. I love the dark foliage. Unfortunately, the one I ended up buying for $18.88 in a 10-inch planter at Home Depot ended up going to my best friend Isaac just because I really couldn't keep up with the plant care. And then you can see right here, I've been eyeing this particular Aglaonema Red Siam because as you can see right here, $15.98, but look at the leaves, they are super red. I may end up buying this, but again, I am trying to watch my finances earlier this year. You know, whenever there is a new year, a lot of us have the tendency to want to recalibrate how we spend our money, whether we're on a budget or not. And even though these plant shopping videos may inspire you to shop these new restocks for plants, I do understand if you are trying to hold off from buying any plants in the spring. I wish I had that type of discipline, but I've already purchased some plants earlier this year, and you know, I can't believe that it's really only the first part of the year. You can see over here we've got a Xanthosoma. This is a beautiful plant as well, and this one is for $19.84. Self-watering planter by Costa Farm, and Xanthosoma surprisingly is an easy to care for plant. It's like an alocasia slash or crossed with like a caladium. Now obviously that may not be the origins of the plant, but it kind of behaves like that, where it's still more easy to take care of, and I really love the patterns on the leaves. And as I pan away here, even though I haven't really seen any new plant releases except the Urban Jungle planters, it's still nice to go plant shopping. I mean, this one right here, I remember seeing this the last time I visited this big box store. I ended up seeing this Epipremnum panatum Cebu Blue Pothos. This one is for $20.84 in an 8-inch planter. And the thing about Cebu Blue Pothos is it's not as tolerant for drought, so you really want to stay on top of the water. Otherwise it starts to get yellowing leaves, and it definitely needs more light than the typical Epipremnum panatum. Otherwise it just shoots out runners and gets very leggy. And then as I spin around here, we do have a bunch of staghorn ferns, really nice looking staghorn ferns, and then we also have some Hoya as well as a spider plant. I think this might be the Bonnie version. And then we have a bunch of Rescue Me plants. You can see that that leaf just fell off. I promise I wasn't trying to prop lift. It literally just fell off, and you can see all of these clearance plants. These are all 50% off. They are screaming to be rescued. Like this one right here, I really do want to rescue this Aglaonema red cyan, but the only thing about it is I don't feel like I'm going to get the best value if I'm going to just pay 50% off, because there's literally only one plant. And as far as like Aglaonemas, rehabbing them from the brink of plant heaven death will take a long time. So, you know, there is a debate on whether we should rescue plants or just really invest into a healthy plant, because if you do get a clearance plant at a big box store like Lowe's, there is a chance to get plant pest, and you know, that's something you don't really want to add to your houseplant collection. A plant pest infestation is devastating. I've had that happen to me before, and that is the reason why whenever I am bringing a new plant home, especially from a big box store, I am very diligent about quarantining my plants, spraying every single part of the plant with neem oil spray, just to make sure that the plant is free from pests. I also use systemic granules that I sprinkle on the substrate to make sure that you know, the roots absorb it, and then that there is a level of protection from plant pests. I think that that is one of the most devastating things that can happen to a plant collection, and for me, that's part of what contributes to plant burnout, when you have a beautiful collection that's all of a sudden infested with like mealybugs, fungus gnats, spider mites, or thrifts. And thrifts are the worst, because once a plant is infected with thrifts, the chances of it actually surviving is very slim, and unfortunately that does happen very fast. And I do recommend, whenever you're going shopping, that you consider these plant pests.
You don't want my heart, you don't want my love, you just want me crying over you. You don't want my heart, you don't want my love, you just want me.
You can see we've got some Philodendron Pink Princess right over here, some Phalaenopsis orchids. I love me some Phalaenopsis orchids. They're readily available throughout the season, whether you're at a big box store, a local plant nursery, a small business, or even a grocery store. Actually, grocery stores tend to have the Phalaenopsis orchids. My care tips for Phalaenopsis orchids would be just make sure that you are putting them in a substrate like orchid bark. Don't ever plant them in just soil, and water when the soil is completely dry, or not the soil, but the orchid bark. But as far as just the plants we are looking at today, it doesn't look like there is a full-blown restock, but I am excited to take you to the next location. So plant foldies, definitely stay tuned to the very end of the video, so you'll see some amazing rare and uncommon plants that will be found. But you can see here, I did want to go pan over one last time for this Aglaonema red cyan that has quite a bit of red on it. Really beautiful plant. When you start comparing it to the regular red Aglaonema, you can see that there is a big difference. And then the pink Aglaonema, the Aglaonema Lady Valentine, beautiful plant as well. Again, this is for $19.84, and I do recommend anybody who loves easy to care for plants to go ahead and buy yourself an Aglaonema. That is one intent that I have for this plant channel, is to get everybody excited, get Aglaonemas trending. Maybe they can get as popular as some of the variegated Philodendron or Monsteras, because I do think that Aglaonemas are so underrated, but they are so beautiful. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. I really would love to know your plant insights. But it looks like on a cold early evening, late afternoon in North Dallas, the Prosper Lowe's is still pretty stocked. I love that, and the fact that this was actually the night before this the snowstorm hit North Dallas. I'm glad that I was able to get some of this plant content available for y'all. But anyways, the next big box store we're gonna go to is actually big box store plant shopping at Target, of all places. So I'm just gonna do a quick clip of some of the houseplants that are available at Target. And if you're a huge fan of Target, if you love your Target runs, I am a huge fan of Target, just because they have some really stylish planters and just really good products in general that are great value. But you can see here we do have a bunch of self-watering planters, again by Live Trends. This one is some type of philodendron. I'm not sure if that is a Philodendron Macaulay's Finale, but these are all $15 in self-watering planters. So really good value. It's really exciting to see that there are houseplants available available for Target, because a lot of times Targets don't really carry a lot of houseplants. They're not really known as the big box store that carries plants as compared to like Lowe's, Home Depot, and Walmart. But when Target does carry houseplants, they tend to carry like live transplanters or live trend plants, which actually kind of fits the aesthetic of Target, because I believe that Target is a very classy place to shop. They definitely have some great products, and just the styling around the live transplanters really fits the bill. You can see right here, this is a Sansevieria, some type of Sansevieria bird's nest. Beautiful plant, and again, this is $15 flat, and that's not a bad price at all, especially if it's in a self-watering planter. So this basically means you don't have to really do much care for the Sansevieria. And then we'll look at some of the other plants right here. It looks like they have a little QR code that gives you the plant care tips, which is exciting. I mean, obviously this is another easy to care for plant. This is a Philodendron Hederaceum Brazil. Love the plant as well. And you know, as far as the coloration, the Philodendron Hederaceum Brazil tends to have better colors when you're providing it with more bright indirect light. It is a pretty vigorous grower, not as fast as a pothos plant, but it's still pretty easy to take care of. And then we have a Dracaena Tornado right here, and this is again by Live Trends Designs. This is another beautiful plant, and as it gets a little bit older and larger, you can really see that it starts to twist like a tornado, which is really cool. Low light tolerant plant, drought tolerant plant. It's a plant that I would recommend for anybody that wants to have an easy to care for plant. Actually, all of the plants I have picked up so far for Live Trends in this Target is actually easy to care for. So like if you like Sansevieria or snake plants, low light tolerant, definitely drought tolerant. Actually, you don't really want to water the snake plant as often as most people would think. I would say wait till the soil is completely dry and then wait another week before you water it again, because Sansevieria or snake plants tend to get root rot pretty easily when you overwater it. And then we have some wild interior succulents. So obviously I don't know a lot about succulents, but these are really nice succulents. I do love the perfect shapes that they have. And you can see over here, this one is another interesting one. If I could just grab it, look at the color of this one as well. I just love the shapes of succulents. They just remind me of little rosettes. Beautiful plant. And as far as succulents, again, for the most part, on a general plant care tip, I would say you need to just make sure that you are providing them with quite a bit of bright light, whether it's full sun or bright indirect light. You have to do your research on that, because some succulents cannot tolerate full sun. It's not always the best lighting for them. But as I pan away here, we can see that we've got more plants. I'm just going to keep picking up and showing you these plants. You can see right over here, we've got a beautiful Dracaena lemon lime. That plant will eventually get large. And again, it's one of those plants that are low light tolerant. And take a look at this. I think this is a Philodendron Red Imperial in a self-watering planter. Again, this is only for $15. Sometimes people will think this is a Philodendron Black Cardinal, but I do believe this is a Philodendron Red Imperial, not a Black Cardinal. But I love the dark foliage, and you can see that this is still in its juvenile state. As it gets larger, its leaves will start to get a little bit more wide, and it's going to have that dark foliage. More bright light is going to give it that darker foliage, so just make sure you're providing it with the right lighting conditions for it to really maximize on its color and its growth. But as you can see right here, we're talking about more philodendron. So it looks like Urban Jungle has also made it into this Target, as well as Costa Farms Trending Tropicals. So, you know, going to multiple big box stores to go shopping, especially for houseplants, is super exciting. So I haven't really seen a lot of Trending Tropicals, Costa Farms plants make it into a Target, but this particular one has a pretty good selection. But we'll go ahead and take a look at some of these other plants right here. This one is a Trending Tropicals Philodendron Painted Lady for $19.84. And you'll notice the gorgeous yellow variegation that this Philodendron Painted Lady has. Here's the only thing I will say about the Philodendron Painted Lady. It will easily revert back to more of a greenish tone if you're not able to provide it with quite a bit of bright indirect light. So if you plan on growing this indoors, definitely don't put it in a darker space in your home because it will revert. I would highly recommend growing it under a grow light or a south-facing window to really get the best coloration out of it. And for me, this one is only for $15, and that is probably the most cost-effective pricing I've seen for a 6-inch planter. Love the terracotta planter for this Philodendron Macaulay's Finale. I am going to go ahead and purchase this plant. I already have a Philodendron Macaulay's Finale, but what I really love about this plant is obviously this doesn't even have any leaf shine, neem oil, and it's already got a natural shine to the leaves. So I definitely want to purchase this. I don't know if I'll keep it in the terracotta planter. I may convert it to semi-hydro substrate like leca. And for those that haven't seen my converting plants into semi-hydro substrate leca, definitely check out that plant video. I am showing you more of my personal plants. So if you're interested in seeing what plants I'm growing in my personal plant collection, definitely check that out. But you can see right here, Epipremnum pinnatum albo for $20. This is a Casa Farms trending tropical plant. I am eventually going to buy one of these as well. I love Epipremnum pinnatum. They are endemic to my home country, which is the Philippines. And, you know, as far as this particular plant, it is a fast growing plant. You know, pretty much any Epipremnum pinnatum, they're pretty vigorous growers. The only thing about I would say about the Epipremnum pinnatum family is you need to provide it with quite a bit of light. Otherwise, the leaves will become smaller and they will shoot out more runners with no leaves on them. So that's really the lighting conditions that you need to make sure you're giving up. And then in terms of the Philodendron Painted Lady as well, gorgeous yellow foliage. You need lots of light. Now here is a Xanthosoma. This is for $20. This is another Casa Farms trending tropical plant, and it is at Target. So of all the big box stores that you would go plant shopping for, I would say Target basically has the most stylish, most modern looking planters. Some of the plant pricing might be slightly expensive, but you're still getting a good quality plant. And you can see right over here, this is a Monstera Adansonii. I love Monstera Adansonii. The only thing is I haven't been able to grow a Monstera Adansonii long term. For some reason, they just don't end up living for me. They end up going to plant heaven. And, you know, as far as a Monstera Adansonii, it's not a difficult plant to grow. It's just for some reason, this plant just doesn't seem to grow as well for me. And, you know, that goes back to show that some plants may not necessarily be meant to grow in somebody's plant collection. Although I want to try to grow a Monstera Adansonii, I do think that the fenestrations, the holes in between the leaves look stunning. And, you know, these plants can get fairly large. It's the same thing with the Epipremnum pinnatum albo. If you give it more bright indirect light, it will potentially push out more cream and white variegation. It will definitely grow more fenestrations to where the leaves start to get larger and split. The only thing is you have to put it on a moss pole, a totem pole, or something for the aerial roots to attach in order for the leaves to get larger and size up. But this was a pleasant surprise for me to go see this Target. So for those that love shopping at Target, love plant shopping, or just shopping in general, definitely be on the lookout for any house plants that are making it at Target. Again, Target's not necessarily known for house plants. However, it looks like, you know, this season Target may have some more house plants. So I would ask any plant foldie, anybody who shops at Target, to leave in the comment section what types of plants you're finding at at Target, as well as your plant hauls, your shopping that you do at Target. Leave that in the comments because I'm always interested to see where people source out and buy their plants. You know, as far as my plant shopping videos, I utilize a lot of this as also a personal blog, as well as to get in touch with all of the plant foldies. And I have to say, the last couple of brand new videos, we've been able to get a bunch of new content out, and there's lots of engagement on the channel. So the next place we are going big box store plant shopping would be the Walmart out in McKinney, Texas. This one is right across the street from the Lowe's that I just featured earlier in this video. As always, please make sure you're hitting the like button for this video, and you can see that it is now evening time as I'm coming over here to film this content. This is the night before the winter storm out in Dallas, Texas. Hopefully all of our DFW plant folies are remaining safe and warm in their homes. I actually have to end up going to work the day of the snowstorm and the day after the snowstorm. But anyways, let's go ahead and just take a look at all of the gorgeous plants here. What I'm excited about is to see if I will also find the rare and uncommon philodendron by Grower's Bench, any new trending tropical plants by Costa Farms, and just another plant restock. You can see right from the get-go, this Walmart is pretty full, and based on some of the comments that I've received for some of the videos that I posted from other plant foldies all over the country, it seems like the Walmarts out in Dallas, Texas are a little bit more full of plants as compared to other areas of the store. If that is correct, please let me know in the comment section what area you're from in the United States or even in Canada, and let me know if your Walmarts have the same types of plants I am featuring. If anything, if your plants, your Walmarts aren't having the same types of plants so far early in the season, just know this is a preview of what you will get eventually as spring comes around. I would say that Dallas tends to get some of these houseplants a little bit earlier than most places in the United States. So this will make the plant shopping fun in terms of just what plants you will eventually see in the future. You can see right here, this is a peace lily, and you can see that that peace lily absolutely needs to get watered. The thing about peace lily or spathiphyllum, it's a very low light tolerant plant, but it is not a drought tolerant plant, which makes it slightly a finicky plant. But as soon as you water it, it will perk up very quickly. And then over here, these are all for $24.97. These are all of the 10-inch large foliage plants by Costa Farms at Walmart. You can see right here, this is a Ficus lyrata or a fig leaf tree. Love the look of this plant, and this plant was the it plant a couple years back. I happen to have one in my plant collection that I got for 99 cents at a grocery store called Sprouts, and it's in a 6-inch planter, and it's doing very well. It only had like one leaf, and now it's got several leaves, and it's doing well. Surprisingly, I put my fig leaf tree in an area that doesn't get as much light, but for some reason it is either acclimated or is trying to survive because it hasn't really dropped any leaves, and it seems to be living its best life in its current conditions. But I'm just going to walk around here, plant foldies, and just show you what plants they have available. If you made it this far into the video, again, thank you so much for watching all the way through. And if you haven't already, press the thumbs up or like button for this video. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. I often feature these gorgeous Dieffenbachia maculatas right over here. Gorgeous light foliage, and look at how large the leaves are. These are for $24.94. The only problem I have with the Dieffenbachia maculata is it is just a challenging plant to grow in my care conditions. So as far as this plant, as beautiful as it is, and I mention this all the time in my videos, sometimes these plants, as gorgeous as they are, if they are not going to fit your space or your care tips or your environment, I would just hold off from grabbing them. Now, as far as this yucca cane, I don't really know a lot about yucca canes, but it is a beautiful plant. I would say this plant is definitely underrated of a plant. It's not something that most people are going out and buying. It is for $24.97. $2.97. It's another plant that I would definitely add to my plant collection. It's just one that I don't see a lot of people talking about, so I'm just curious to see if anybody is actually growing this plant in their plant collection. Leave in the comment section below and let me know what you think. But as far as all the other plants we have over here, now this one is a Dracaena Massangiana, or maybe a Dracaena Dorado. Either way, this one has some beautiful foliage, very easy plant to take care of. So of all three plants that I've featured so far, the large foliage ones, that would be the one I would recommend. It's all about that basic care plant. And as I pan around here, it looks like this Walmart is starting to really get full. It is a little bit it is nighttime, and so it's going to be easier for me to film some of these plants freely. I try not to get people in my plant shopping videos just to respect their privacy. So you will notice that I like to either do plant shopping early in the morning or late at night. It's just easier for me to freely roam around.
Cut the cord that kept us connected, blacking out the mirror where your light once reflected. All of the love from up above, we used to feel like a glove. We're going to take a look at all of these hanging baskets by Costa Farm. So this is some type of fern. I do like the light green bluish tint of this particular fern. I don't know a lot about it, nor do I really know the plant ID, but this one is for $15.48. Really like the look of this plant as well. And then you can see that Costa Farms is releasing a lot of these hanging baskets. Now this is a lemon button fern, and this is one that I see often at big box stores. I don't know a lot about this fern. I do like the texture of the foliage. This one is in an 8-inch planter for $20.84. I would venture out to buy this fern if I was going to add a fern in my plant collection. Like the first fern I would probably get would be like a bird's nest fern, and then I would end up getting this type of fern, the lemon button fern. I've seen this at grocery stores as well. And let's pan around here, and it looks like we've got the teardrop peperomia and an epipremnum aureum golden pothos. In the previous live premiere, we had asked the viewers, or at least I've asked the viewers, how you pronounce pothos. Please leave in the comment section again whether you say pothos as in P-A-W or pothos as in P-O, or do you just say epipremnum aureum? Leave it in the comments below. I'd really like to know how you pronounce pothos plants. And then this one right here is that teardrop peperomia, and I have been eyeing this particular plant for a while. I would consider this plant a want, something that I've held off from buying, but it is a beautiful plant. Like look at that light greenish yellow foliage, and you can see that there are some little markings on the leaves. As far as peperomias are basic plants, or at least people consider them very easy to care for plants. It would be one that I would recommend for any plant lover. And if you notice, they've got the light greenish yellow tone to it, and then right next to the neon pothos, which is my favorite plant, not favorite plant, but my favorite pothos plant. This one is in an 8-inch planter for $20.84. And as far as the hanging baskets that are available at Walmart, the 8-inch planters are either $19.84 or $20.84. They also have the 6-inch hanging baskets for $15.84. But you can see right here, I wouldn't mind buying this. Actually, it's a nice healthy looking neon pothos. Look at how gorgeous the leaves are. I love the neon colors. I could have multiples of this, and that's the thing about plants. Sometimes we make exceptions for having multiples of plants. This would be definitely one that I would recommend adding to your plant collection. And if you put that right next to the golden pothos, you can see that this is a showstopper. It definitely shines amongst a sea of pothos plants. Love this plant, fast growing. All you need to do is to make sure you give it bright indirect light in order for it to really do well in terms of holding its color. But let's turn around here and look at the Garden Expert 6-inch hanging basket planters for $10.97. So clearly this is the more cost-effective alternative when it comes to a hanging basket, and I absolutely love golden pothos. Whenever you have one that is lush, full, and if you take a little bit more time and keep cleaning the leaves by using like the wild neem oil spray protect, it will give you some nice shiny foliage. It's absolutely stunning, and it's one that I would highly recommend adding to your plant collection. So really nice looking plant, and it's a plant that is readily available. You can also see we've got some bromeliads right over here, gorgeous plants.
Love the bromeliads, and as I pan away, this Walmart really does have a pretty good restock of plants. Exciting to see that we have some Hoya Chelsea hanging baskets in 8-inch planters for $19.84. So this is another example of a plant that would really tempt me to purchase it and make it a need today, but unfortunately I have too many plants already, although I would say the Hoyas are really easy to care for plants. And on top of that, Hoyas are also great plants if you have a furry friend. They're pet friendly. And so if you want an easy to care for plant, Hoyas are great. They're also known as the wax leaf plant. They actually produce really nice blooms, although I haven't gotten my Hoya to bloom yet. This is another plant that I would recommend. And I just love the fact that Hoya Chelsea is another example of just a green foliage plant. You know, 2025, the new year should be all about green plants, going back to the basics. And this is another plant I would recommend. You can see that this is the care tips that Costa Farms has provided. Feel free to hit the pause button if you're interested to see what the care tips are for the Hoya Chelsea. But these two hanging baskets, I may come back and grab this plant, but it wouldn't be necessarily a plant that I would pick up today. It is a beautiful plant and they look super healthy and lush.
You don't want my heart, you don't want my love, you just want me crying over you. You don't want my heart, you don't want my love, you just want me crying over you.
Let's talk about these blooming anthuriums. So obviously there are other varieties of anthuriums, but the blooming ones like this, a lot of people think that the colorful part is the actual bloom. Actually, the bloom is the middle part of the plant. I do love the fact that this plant right here is readily available. And while most people would not really run to get this particular anthurium, I love the leaf shape. And this particular leaf shape right here, when you look at the leaves, they have like a waxy texture about them. There is one particular anthurium that I really want to get, and it's called the Anthurium shibori, which is basically a variegated anthurium. It is a little bit pricey, so it's one of those plants that it is a want, and it's something that I will eventually save my money on. As far as like, you know, buying plants, another thing I would also mention plant foldies is really looking at that plant pricing, making sure that the price is right for you. I mean, if you want blooming plants, you can get that blooming anthurium or even these bromeliads. They also have Phalaenopsis orchids. So I'm just going to go pan around here and show you all of the plants that they have available. Again, it is exciting to see that, you know, Walmart is getting restocked with plants. I am pretty excited to showcase the more rare and uncommon plants in just a bit. So stay tuned to the very end of the video to see what kind of plant haul I will end up with. But for now, I will be showing you all of the Costa Farms plants. Definitely want to get this Aglaonema eventually. I think this is the Aglaonema Spring Snow by Costa Farms Trading Tropicals, $19.84 in a self-watering planter. This has several plants in the actual pot. And, you know, in terms of an Aglaonema, I would say, is it a want or a need plant? It's always going to be a need plant for me, especially if it is a Aglaonema that I don't have in my plant collection. I do have this one in my plant collection, but I'm still tempted to purchase it because look at how gorgeous the speckling of the leaves are. Again, with Aglaonemas, they are low light tolerant, they are drought tolerant. They're super slow growers, unfortunately, but for the most part, they are a flashy plant that I think we all need to be getting excited about, posting on social media and really just wanting to collect Aglaonemas. So that's really my intention for some of these plant shopping videos, is to get everybody excited, perhaps to plant influence you on buying Aglaonemas and really getting that plant to be a trending plant for 2025. And then you can see here we do have some Hoya. So I'm just gonna keep panning over and showing you the plants that are available for plant shopping at Walmart. this is an awesome plant find. I wasn't expecting. This is a variegated prayer plant. I love the look of this because look at the variegation on it. This is another plant that is interesting in the fact that Costa Farms typically doesn't have this released often, and it's pretty random when you think about it being an exotic angel plant. This is only for $5.77. I've seen this retailing for as much as like $18. So this is definitely a great price. So if you're shopping for plants, if you're looking for house plants to add in your plant collection, this is definitely one that I would recommend if you're looking for a more like uncommon plant, a variegated plant at a big box store. You can see that some of the other ones have been really dehydrated. The only problem with a variegated prayer plant is it does require quite a bit of water in order for it to really survive and thrive. If you let it dry out for long periods of time, the leaves will curl and it eventually will want to go to plant heaven. So you can see these are really the only two that are left. I kind of want to rescue it, but at the same time, you know, as terms of just plants and just trying to maintain my budget for the new year, I really want to hold off from just doing impulse buying unless there's one plant that is really going to speak to me. You know, you can make reasons as to why you want to buy a plant, but for me, it is all about finding the cost, but also knowing whether you should be adding the plant to your plant collection. So for instance, like this Monstera Peru, would love to get it $19.84, but I actually have a friend that was able to find it on clearance for $8. So it's all about whether you need to buy the plant today or wait till it goes on clearance, on sale, or even get it through a plant trade or a plant cutting. That is the multiple ways on how you can manage your finances, especially in the new year when everybody's really trying to recalibrate their budget. But I'm going to keep picking up some trending tropicals plants here. This one is an Alocasia silver dragon, beautiful plant. I would definitely recommend this for anybody that likes that silver foliage. Again, with Alocasias, they need higher humidity levels, bright indirect light, and a little bit more warmth. Otherwise, they will end up going dormant. And you can just see we've got lots of different types of plants here, and you already know I'm going to have to pick up these Aglaonema. Let me know in the comment section what you think of it. I really think this might be a different variety because if you look at the leaves have a white vein in the middle of the leaf, and that's really an interesting looking plant. Like I said, again, in terms of this plant right here, hopefully more people are getting excited about Aglaonema. Even with the lighter foliage of this particular plant, this plant is definitely one that I would recommend adding to your plant collection because you can put this in a lower light condition and it will still hold on to a lot of its lighter colors. Obviously, giving it bright indirect light or more light will give it whiter foliage, but it's still such a beautiful plant. Let me know in the comment section if you think this is another Aglaonema aside from it being the spring snow. I would really like to know the plant ID. And if this is Costa Farms watching my videos, first of all, thank you for providing us Plantfold these amazing plants to buy and go shopping at big box stores like Walmart. Let me know the plant ID. I would really appreciate it, but this is another one that I'm super tempted to purchase today. But I'm really practicing good financial restraint because I want to make sure that my budget is correct, especially when I go to PlantCon 2025 in Orlando, Florida, February 22nd. So Plantfoldies, if you're going to PlantCon, I definitely want to meet up with y'all. Hopefully we can have some great conversation on plants. I've already bought a bunch of rare and uncommon Aglaonema from my friend Riki of Art Garden Flowers. Definitely follow his Instagram because he is a Indonesian seller that will be showing and selling plants at PlantCon 2025 in Orlando, Florida. And then you can see right here, Global Green Pothos. Love this as well. Plantfoldies, you can see we've got some gorgeous trending tropical plants, a plethora of them actually. Global green, we've got a Monstera Stadliana right over here, as well as another global green pothos. Love the Monstera Stadliana. It is an easy grower as well, and if you want a plant that's pretty fast growing, I would say you can get this one if you like these variegated versions. These are also for $19.84, and I'm actually going to ask the Plantfoldies, in terms of your plant budget, how much do you budget out for plants within a month span? Let me know in the comment section below so I can just get an idea of how much people are spending on shopping for plants. I have actually scaled back on my plant budget. I think it's because I am trying to downsize my plant collection. I'm really trying to get more of a curated look. So in terms of even me doing these big box store plant shopping videos, a lot of it is window shopping, just really looking at the plants and making sure that I can get this content out for y'all. As you can see right here, Costa Farms has produced a lot of new trending tropical plants, lots of plants to choose from, and that's super exciting, especially with the new year just starting. I am curious to see what plant trends are going to be happening for this year. I'm assuming that maybe the variegated alocasias are going to reduce in price. I think variegated monsteras are going to be all the rage, but I would love to see like a Philodendron heteroraceum be a trending tropical, or not just a trending plant. And you can see right over here, we do have some more pothos, silver streak pothos right here. It's only for $9.97, and typically that is a Costa Farms trending tropical plant for $19.84. So you can see that you can save money when you find the right price. And this is actually another plant that if I were to purchase today, I would purchase the silver streak pothos or the variegated prayer plant. But these are plants that are really good prices. $9.97 is an absolute steal for this 6-inch planter of silver streak pothos. I love the streaks on the plant, and this is another plant that has become a little bit more common. It is a type of pothos plant. It's an Epipremnum alplissimum, beautiful plant as well. And obviously we've got a bunch of golden pothos here and some easy to care for plants for only $9.97. And as far as the plant pricing, you will save money. You will be able to really reel in your finances when it comes to buying certain plants like this Dracaena Lemon Surprise, $9.97. Gorgeous plant, super underrated, super overlooked. It is a basic plant, but the care is so easy, and that's really all the plants that we need are easy care plants that really are hassle-free, and this is one of them I would recommend for anybody that is shopping for plants today. Get yourself a Dracaena Lemon Surprise. Beautiful plant, low light tolerant, drought tolerant. It's got all of the characteristics you want in an easy care plant for a great price. Is what I was talking about, the Philodendron Pink Princess here for $19.97 by Growers Bench, or Wild Interiors Curated. Love this, and this one actually has pretty good variegation. So if you're looking for a Philodendron Pink Princess, Growers Bench has them available again at Walmart. These ones have pretty good variegation. Again, with Philodendron Pink Princess, you really want to find one that has some really good pink variegation from the get-go, because the variegation is really influenced by its initial genetics versus actually getting it to push out more variegation by giving it more light. Light doesn't necessarily influence it. It is one of those philodendrons that it's really the genetics of the plant. Now there is another Philodendron Pink Princess variety called the Philodendron Pink Princess Marble Galaxy, which has a lot of speckling, a lot of high variegation. So that particular line of Philodendron Pink Princess is the one I would seek after. Sometimes you will see it, but this one right here is a pretty good one. What I like about Growers Bench Philodendron Pink Princess is it actually has darker foliage leaves with the stark pink variegation. Love that. I love dark foliage plants. And speaking of dark foliage plants, I'm going to try to get this one out. It looks like one of the alocasia leaves are stuck on it, but this is the Alocasia alzanii, beautiful plant as well, and that is another wish list plant of mine. That is a want. It's not necessarily a need because it's an alocasia. I have to wait to get lechuza pond, which is a semi-hydro substrate, to put in, because I've noticed that once I've actually converted these alocasias into semi-hydro, they grow so well for me, and it just makes the plant care easier. You can see I was struggling to try to get that plant, so I don't want to like break any like leaves, but this one right here is an Alocasia Milo Light. I have one of these. What a beautiful alocasia as well. When you touch the leaves, it's got a very leathery texture about it. It seems very durable. And that one is also for $19.97 by Growers Bench. This one is another Alocasia alzanii. Beautiful plant. It looks almost like an Alocasia purpurea, but as far as getting the right substrate, I'm gonna wait to get it until I can get lechuza pond. And you can see right here, Monstera Thai Constellation has made it to all of the Walmarts I visited out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. This one is for $27.97. So here's the thing about Monstera Thai Constellations. They used to be super rare, highly sought after about 5 years ago. I remember spending about $200 for a one leaf, one node cutting that I had to propagate in water in order for it to actually acclimate. I still have that same Monstera Thai Constellation. It is about 5 to 6 feet in height. It's got really large leaves, and so I was really happy about that. But now these are Monstera Thai Constellations that are now at big box stores. You can see they come in many varieties of variegation or levels of variegation. This one has some really nice sectoral variegation. This one is right off the bat a really nice looking specimen, and you can see this one has more speckling on it versus sectoral variegation. All of these Monstera Thai Constellations are gorgeous, and I will be doing a free Monstera Thai Constellation big box store giveaway on my Instagram reel, so definitely follow me on Instagram at GrowFolds. But you can see right over here, this one is an example of a Monstera Thai Constellation that doesn't have high variegation, and you notice that every single leaf has only very minimal variegation, so that would be a candidate I wouldn't necessarily purchase if I'm buying the Monstera Thai Constellation for the specific variegation. But you can see the majority of these have really nice variegation, very balanced variegation, aside from the one that's mostly green. It doesn't mean that the mostly green Monstera Thai Constellation isn't a plant that can get a home. It's just that if you're looking for that Monstera Thai Constellation look, that one wouldn't be the best candidate for it. $27.97. Care tips for Monstera Thai Constellation would be let the soil dry out completely. Do not overwater your Monstera Thai Constellation. It needs to have a more chunky aeroid soil mix, or you can convert this into semi-hydro substrate. I just recently converted mine into leca, which is clay balls, and I think that it's going to do fine for it. The reason why you don't want to overwater a Monstera Thai Constellation is this particular plant is very susceptible to root rot, especially in its initial infant stages like this. Now, as it gets a little bit larger, it may not have as much susceptibility for root rot, but for something like this in a 5-inch planter, I would definitely not overwater it. I would let the soil dry out completely. Another thing I would say about Monstera Thai Constellation as far as plant care is it is susceptible to spider mites and thrifts. Thrifts are probably the one thing that will destroy a Monstera Thai Constellation very quickly. I've had thrifts outbreaks in my home, so it's actually taken some of my Monstera Thai Constellations to plant heaven. My original one actually had a really bad thrift infestation. I was able to save it, and but you can see that the damage on the leaves. So if you start seeing yellowing on the tips, yellowing on the bottoms of the leaves, that is thrifts. You have to get really aggressive with the plant pest spraying. So if you want to get like neem oil or insecticidal soap, definitely spray it. I have a routine of spraying my plants at least once a week with my plant foldy mist neem oil spray that I do as a DIY spray. So as far as that's basically the care tips for Monstera Thai Constellations. Really happy to see that big box stores are actually getting it, and you can see this is my top 5 Monstera Thai Constellation picks. Let me know in the comments section which one you would pick. I would pick the one that's at very top in the very middle as one that I would take home or purchase. I've already bought 3 Monstera Thai Constellations. I went shopping at Walmart for them, and I just really think that in terms of the value, in terms of the price, $29.97 is not a bad price at all. And for Monstera Thai Constellation, it's a fairly fast grower considering it is a variegated plant, and it's one that I would highly recommend, especially if you want something that's a little bit more durable, definitely more cost effective. So if you want a variegated Monstera, when you compare the Thai Constellation versus the Monstera alba, I would go with the Monstera Thai Constellation. And the only other plants that I have left would be this Philodendron Paraiso Verde, beautiful plant. And this one actually is a good specimen if you were to purchase one from Walmart. Some of them have been a little bit leggy, but this one has quite a bit of foliage. It looks like there are 2 plants, and you can see that there is a new leaf that is about to push out and unfurl as well. Now, as far as the variegation on the Philodendron Paraiso Verde, it is impacted by the amount of heat or the climate it's in versus the light. So just keep that in mind. If you want more variegation to come out, put it in a warmer climate for the Paraiso Verde. Philodendron silver sword, beautiful plant. I ended up finding an Aglaonema that has that same silver tone to it, and it's absolutely stunning. And if I were to pick a green plant to talk about, it would be this Philodendron Campii, beautiful plant as well. Look at the leaves, look at how it has a natural shine to it, and then also just the shape and narrow size of the leaves, and also just the texture. Beautiful plant. This one is for $19.97. So if I had to pick between the 3 philodendron today, I would buy that green plant. There's just something beautiful and elegant about the simplicity with the Philodendron Campii. But as I pan away here, plant foldies, this is another beautiful plant haul. Walmart is definitely restocking. I urge everybody to go shopping at Walmart if you're looking for some of these rare and uncommon plants, specifically for the Monstera Thai Constellation. If you're looking for some fancy or more uncommon Alocasia by Grower's Bench, and obviously the philodendrons that are available as well. So hopefully you've seen multiple big box store plant shopping videos. You can see that I visited Lowe's, Target, and Walmart, and it's just exciting to see more of these plants in the market. So please make sure you are pressing the like button for this video. It helps me out a ton. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel at Growfolds. I'll see you on the next one with a brand new video tomorrow.